Hi, this is Aditya from Just Tutors, and in this video we are going to learn about soil. In today's video we'll be covering the introductory part of the soil. Then we learn about the soil profile, the different types of soil as well. After that we learn about the properties of the soil and also the moisture content in the soil. Absorption of water by soil is another important topic, and we'll conclude the video after learning about soil and crops. So let's start with the introductory part. Now we all know that soil has some important functions. It is a medium for plant growth, it is a means of water storage as well, and at the end it is a habitat for organisms. These things in turn modifies the soil behavior. It is actually a mixture of minerals, organic matter, gases, liquids, and countless organisms. It is one of the support systems on Earth. Now, soil is made up of different layers. It is a naturally occurring granular material. These layers are shown in the picture right here. The top layer is called humus. It is actually the rotting dead matter in the soil. Then you have the water content, which is another important component, followed by clay, sand, and gravel. Now, gravels are small sized rocks which are present at the bottom layer of the soil. Sand is another finely divided rock and mineral particle. And clay is known to be the finest grained natural rock soil material. Let's learn about how soil is formed. The process of soil formation is called weathering. Now this is comprised by breaking down of rocks by the action of climate, wind and water over thousands of years. The nature of soil depends on the rocks from which it is formed and the type of vegetation grows in it. Each layer is different than the other in terms of texture, color, depth and chemical composition. Let's learn about the soil profile now. Now this is actually which has different layers of soil. These layers are called horizons. Now before we move on to soil profile, you can look at the picture and you can get the idea about how weathering takes place over the years. So the rainwater is collected in cracks in these rocks. When the temperature falls below 0 degrees Celsius, the water freezes and expands, which initiates a crack in the soil. And eventually, after repeated freezing and thawing, the rock breaks off and is converted into soil at the end. Let's talk about the horizon. The soil profile is divided into three horizons. The first one is called the A horizon, which is the uppermost layer, also known as the topsoil. Now this layer makes soil fertile and provides nutrients to plants. This layer is generally soft, porous and can retain more water. This is actually dark in color as well because it's rich in humus and minerals. You can find all the insects and the earthworms on the top layer. Next up is the B horizon. Now this has lesser amount of humus and more amount of minerals. This is also called the middle layer. This layer is more harder and compact than the A horizon. Last but not the least is the third layer, which is called the C horizon. Now this layer is made up of small lumps of rock. You can see that at the bottom. And below this, the last layer is present, which is called the bedrock, from which the soil is formed. You can see that in the diagram, the different horizons and the bedrock at the bottom. Now let's talk about the types of soil that we have. Now we have three types of soil based on the proportion of particles of different sizes. The first one is called the sandy soil. Now this contains greater proportion of bigger particles. It is easy to cultivate and work. Light sandy soils dry out quickly and are low in nutrients. When gardening on sandy soil, it is important to select the plants which are happy in dry and infertile soil, as other plants will depend on expensive and environmentally questionable heavy watering and feeding. Next up is clayey soil. Now, clay is a fine grained natural rock or soil material that combines one or more clay minerals with traces of metal oxides and organic matter. These are also used to make toys and earthen pots. Then the next one is the loamy soil. Now basically loam is a soil comprised of almost equal amounts of sand and silt and a little less clay. Of the three components, sand particles are the largest. Sand does not hold on to the moisture, but it provides good aeration. Let's move on to the properties of soil now. One of the most important properties is percolation, which is actually the process of the liquid slowly passing through a filter. We've also got a formula for percolation rate. Now percolation rate is the highest in sandy soil, then in loamy soil, and at the end clay soil. One of the most important characteristics is the moisture content in the soil. The capacity of a soil to hold water is important for different crops. We have two kinds of soil there as well. One is wet soil where the spaces are filled with water, and one is dry soil where the spaces are filled with air. Absorption of water in the soil is one important characteristic as well. The sandy soil has the highest tendency of absorbing water, followed by loamy soil and then clay soil. Talking about soil and crops, component of soil and climatic conditions determine which kind of crop can be grown in a region. Soil profile and structure is affected by the environmental factors like rainfall, wind, temperature, humidity, and light. You can see examples what kind of crops are grown in different kinds of soil right here for paddy and lentils. Similarly, you can think about the cotton as well. Now here are some practice questions, so pause the video and try to think over them on the basis of whatever we have learned so far. You can find all the answers in the video, so you can move back and watch it again. That's all for today. Thank you for watching this video. Please visit Just Tutors for more.